Hey guys, Tyler here, and this is the Garage Warrior podcast and videocast, and I am extremely excited today, extra excited, to have on the call John Berardi from Precision Nutrition. How's it going today, John?
That's me. Everything's great today, actually. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to talk about some stuff that we're up to at PN and how, everyone listening in or watching in can benefit from the knowledge we're creating and the information we provide.
Awesome, John. Well, so if you guys are listening or watching this call and you've been under a rock for a long time and you don't know who John Berardi or Precision Nutrition is, these guys are collecting data. They're helping thousands of people lose weight, gain muscle, and they're some of the sharpest guys in the nutrition field out there and the training field as well. So, John, if somebody hasn't heard of you or your company before, can you give us like the 50,000-mile view as to who you are and what you're trying to teach people?
Yeah, absolutely. So Precision Nutrition is the world's largest online nutrition coaching company. And so when I say coaching company, I mean, that's literally what we do. We coach two groups of people. The first group is a very large group of people who are just interested in looking, feeling better, performing better. They want to get their nutrition straight. They want to sort of find the best way to tie that into how they're working out and exercising on a regular basis. So those people come to us, and we have online coaching programs exclusively for them. The other group of people that we coach are fitness professionals, strength coaches, nutrition coaches, those types of folks. And that program actually came directly out of the industry sort of pulling us to create something that they could sort of model after. After seeing the results that we've been getting with our coaching programs, and in the last 5 years, we've coached 20,000 people online. Wow. So we have a huge set of experiences working with lots of people from every single walk of life, from, people who start out at 500 pounds and need to lose 300 of it, to elite athletes at the highest level. And so when we share the data that we collect, and we publish it through research journals, and we publish it on our website, and we share photographs and all that sort of a thing, a lot of the fitness industry and the strength and conditioning industry took notice and said, oh, wait a second, what are you guys doing differently to be able to reliably and consistently produce these types of results? And what we're doing differently is we have a very specific nutrition coaching model, a system. It's a progressive way of walking people through nutrition, behavior, and habit change. And so we created an education program, a 2-level education program to teach, professionals how to do that very thing. So that's what Precision Nutrition does. Like I said, we've coached more people than anyone in the industry on the coaching side, and then on the certification side, it's been a lot of fun working with professionals who take our system and then can go out and make a difference in the world. So it's a great leverage point for us, right? Instead of just being able to help thousands and thousands of people, when we send out newly trained professionals into the world, we get to impact the lives of millions and millions of people, which is really exciting.
Sure, that's brilliant. And the one thing I like about your structure more than any other, John, is you kind of base it on this progressive principle. And I don't know how familiar you are with GarageWarrior.com, but everything we do is based on progressive movement. Right? Mm-hmm. And so I've been teaching people, hey, you have to start at the basics. You have to start with proper movement, posture, muscle activation. Then you can go to more complex things. And then you can go to more complex things and complex things. And so many people get bit by the diet bug, the nutrition bug. And what do? They go all in for 30 days, and then they fail and they miss it. And they, I lost some weight, but then it was too hard, right? But you take it back so far to the basics. Can you give us those basic steps that you start people out with?
Absolutely. I think you raise a really, really great point, which is, you can use any cliche you want. You have to learn to walk before you run, or whatever the case may be. You have to do arithmetic before you get to multiplication. But I like to reframe it just a little bit. Because if you have any experience working out and eating, and in particular eating, everyone's been doing it since they were born, basically. You hate the notion of doing the basics all over again. You're like, I don't want to do the basics.
I'm beyond that.
Show me the advanced stuff, right? And I'm not immune to that either. So I don't like necessarily saying like, hey, we're going to regress people to the basics, the remediary class, right? Instead, what I'd like to say is it's kind of like learning to speak a new language, right? Like you're not going to start, let's say if you never spoke French before, composing sonnets. You just want to know how to say, where's the bathroom?
Right.
And so, I mean, it's not basics for basics sake. It's basics for need's sake, right? Like if you talk about in movement, if someone is functionally, whatever word you want to choose, screwed up, let's just say, right? So they have poor movement patterns, faulty biomechanics, muscle imbalances, whatever the case may be, and you load that, we're going to injure someone, right? They're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're figuring out how to build a sound foundation or base.
Sure.
And I think, one thing, fitness and strength and conditioning for the last few years has done this extremely well, right? They've at least grasped the notion that if someone's new to the gym, you don't give them the most complicated exercise at the highest intensity on the first day.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, some gyms are. Some gyms aren't.
That may be true. I think in the nutrition area, this has been done extremely poorly because a diet, right? The idea that, hey, I'm going to ask you some questions and you're going to tell me what you ate yesterday, and then I'm going to give you a diet to follow, and you're just going to do it. To me, that's the same thing as giving someone the most complicated movement at the highest intensity on day one, because that's what a diet to follow is. It's hundreds of small changes that you have to do immediately. And if you just do a couple of those changes, you can't even follow the diet, right? You have to do it all. It's all in or nothing, right? And so for us, what we like to do is the same model as exercise progression. We like to figure out what the limiting factors are. What are the red flags? If this was movement, we would look at things like, the hip and the glute activation and sort of knee angles and those types of things, right? With nutrition, we look for those types of things, but they're deficiencies. And we see this time and time again. People come in to work with us, and they're deficient in a host of macronutrients or micronutrients. Most common ones are water, so low-level dehydration, protein, omega-3 fats. And, I can't emphasize how many times I've seen this exact thing, right? Even people who think they're doing well are deficient in these three things. Sure. And then come the micronutrients. Things that are common are zinc, magnesium, calcium deficiencies. And we see them time and time again, not just in beginners, but in elite athletes. Right. There was a study published not too long ago where literally they looked at 210 elite athlete diets, and every single one of them was deficient in at least three things. Most of them were like 5 to 8 things, and the most was like 15 things. Wow. So if we're going to start somewhere with good nutrition practice, that's where we begin. We begin by eliminating deficiencies. The red flags are going up. We bring those down. We bring the body into an optimal state of health, if you will, or at least functionality. And then we can move on to the more advanced things. So it's sort of like step one. And we can assess that either by, you can write down what you ate and plug it in a fit day. You can have your blood tested so you actually know what nutrients are actually deficient in your blood or sufficient. At PN, we just have a simple 4 or 5 question screen. And that tells us enough to determine what people are likely deficient in. And then we fix those deficiencies first before we do anything more. Because if the deficiencies are present, it doesn't matter if you go paleo or vegan, if you have your post-workout shake or not, if you use branched-chain amino acids. Your brain, your physiology is not going to work optimally. It's not going to even work well. And so once we get rid of that problem, now we can build on that. We can do things like talk about intermittent fasting or frequent eating or any of the other things that are so commonly talked about and popularly talked about. But we can't go there until your body's working as it should, and it doesn't work as it should if it's deficient in stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like you're fixing those deficiencies from a very basic perspective. Like it sounds like you're telling people to, drink more water, maybe take like a fish oil supplement or take a really high quality like multivitamin, multimineral. Is that really what you're kind of saying, basically?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's 2 ways to do it. I mean, I was lean on the literature here, and there were some really fascinating studies. First, they were done in prison inmates, then they were done in school children.
Sure.
And
the usual process.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah. You give them a multivitamin and a fish oil each day, and you see the same things in both populations. Increase in cognitive test scores, decrease in violence and antisocial behavior, and then in the kids, you see decrease in ADHD behaviors. And the thing is, there's nothing magical about the fish oil pill or the multivitamin. What is magical is that you had people who were deficient,
Right.
and then you fix the deficiency. So you can do that with food, right? You can eat more protein, you can eat more omega-3s in your diet,
Sure.
fatty fish, you can eat foods that are higher in calcium, magnesium, whatever,
Right.
and we help our clients with that. Or if you want to quickly fix the deficiency without having to change a whole bunch of stuff, a high quality multivitamin in a fish oil capsule is fast. I mean, you get there, really quickly.
That's fantastic. I think it's so basic too that a lot of people overlook it. Like, it drives me
Yeah.
crazy. Like, the first nutrition manual I ever wrote for the boot camps that I run, I forgot to include water. Right? Because I just assumed that everybody was going to drink enough water, because
Yeah.
I've been drinking a gallon of water for more than 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. So it's those foundation things that we got to remember, that these are the basics that you have to master before taking that next step.